how Rittenhouse was found not guilty earlier today, or yesterday now technically, of all charges, all four of his charges, and the Young Turks will proceed to meltdown. Now, I wasn't going to make this video, I wasn't going to talk about the Rittenhouse case, but I thought to myself, why not? You know, it's been a few hours, so I thought to myself, why not? Before I play this video, I'm going to give my thoughts. It was obviously self-defense. I mean, it's super obvious from all the evidence that was presented and throughout the trial. But what's more interesting is why I think the charges were brought. There's two reasons really. One, they wanted a sacrificial lamb for the protesters or rioters, whatever you want to call these people. That, you know, I mean, they were obviously very angry, so the prosecutors and the police thought, why not just serve up Rittenhouse as a sacrificial lamb? And another reason is because they're really desperate not to investigate or look into the connection between the Kenosha Police Department and the Kenosha Guard, which is the local militia, which Rittenhouse was either a part of or he wanted to be a part of, I don't know. But that's my thoughts on why the charges were brought. Now, let's get to TYT's meltdown, because this is fun. I mean, I laughed when I initially saw this video. This is about the president's reaction to Rittenhouse verdict. They did like a 17-minute video, but I'm not going to play that here because it's too boring and I don't have the time for it. So this is not a bad video. This is not a bad video. This is a bad video, but you know what I mean. This is not as long. So, yeah, let's just play this real quick and let's see. You know, let's make fun of him.
Now, we do have a very brief bit of commentary about this big decision from President Biden. Here's what he had to say.
Look, I stand by what the jury has concluded. The jury system works and we have to abide by it.
I actually agree with him there. The president's right. I mean, Rittenhouse had a trial. He was found not guilty. It's actually a pretty good statement by the president, because ultimately his job is to calm things down. Imagine if Cenk Uygur was going to go on to explain what he thought he should have said, and imagine if he actually I'm just going to play that because this is.
That's literally all of it. Vice President Kamala Harris also said the verdict speaks for itself. So that's
profiles and courage.
That's all you're getting. It speaks for itself conveniently so that she doesn't have to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you want her to say? She's the vice president. Doesn't matter anyways. She's a nobody in the grand scheme of things. The president spoke, the vice president said a few words, and that's it. I don't understand what they want her to do.
And so, just look, the other people on this panel do not necessarily agree with me. We all have our own different opinions, okay? But it is more cowardice of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, in my opinion, to sit there and go, well, okay, the jury speaks for itself. What can I do? Okay, white people don't hate me, black people, I don't really care. But anyway.
What are you talking about? Well, how's this cowardice? He did what he could. He gave a statement. It's like, hey, the jury decided, now we have to move on as a country, which is right. I don't know why it's cowardice, but.
He didn't technically shoot black people. He went to go shoot black people.
You care to prove that? You care to actually provide evidence that Rittenhouse was there to shoot black people? I would love to see that evidence because he wasn't there to shoot black people. What are you talking about? You care to prove that? No.
Wind up shooting two white people. Mm-hmm. So he went there thinking, oh, it's a black protest or riot. Let me grab my AR-15. So Kamala Harris, oh yeah, you know.
But what are you talking about? I mean, he wasn't there to shoot black people. He didn't shoot any black people. He shot 3 white people. So this whole thing, he was there to shoot black people. You care to prove that? I mean, he just says it like.
In the past, she's a cop, and then everybody was like, no. She had to do what she had to do, and she had to put away, all these poor people and African Americans and Latinos, and she had to. But she's actually super brave, progressive. No, she's not.
Then why did you demand us to vote for her? You knew Kamala Harris did all this. Why did you demand your audience to vote for her, Cenk? This is
Where's the courage today on Rittenhouse? Where's the courage? As usual, Biden and Harris are hiding in a bunker. That's real. That's the reality.
now you compare him to Donald Trump. They're hiding in a bunker. No, they came out and gave statements. They're not hiding. I can't believe I'm defending President Biden, but I am. This is ridiculous.
And I don't care whose feelings it hurts in Washington.
And I just want to contrast.
And Jake, I don't think anybody in Washington cares what you think of them. You're a YouTuber.
Those are like basically the two leaders of the Democratic Party in the executive branch. That's what they had to say. Well, others on the right have other things to say. The right is fighting over itself to employ Kyle Rittenhouse. You have Paul Gosar, Madison Cawthorn, and Matt Gaetz all wanting Kyle Rittenhouse to come be their intern. Some of them just purely for the blood.
Who cares? Why do you care whether they want to hire him or not? That
Gaetz might think that he has a teen sister. I don't know what his.
What are you talking about, teen sister? I mean, this is the alleged charges that Matt Gaetz likes to have sex with teenagers. Is that true or not? I don't know, but that's the allegation, and the Young Turks tend to think it's true because since it's Republican bad, so by definition it must be true, right? Without a trial, without nothing, it's just true. Keep going with this.
Motivations are in this particular case, but they're all desperate to show their audience we love the vigilante. And if you go ahead, we have this absolutely cringeworthy thing from Ann Coulter that I'm sure she thinks she's doing ironically. I got news for
you. I think Ann Coulter is trolling the left, and the left is walking right into that trap. That's what she's doing there. This is an obvious troll job.
It's cringe if it's serious, it's cringe if it's irony. But they consider him to be a hero. He is their Spiderman Baby.
Yes, and they're just as idiotic as you are. So both sides of this are idiotic. It's not just the Young Turks, there's also these right-wingers. Both sides are just ridiculous, and idiotic.
So on the Democratic side, we have the verdict speaks for itself. I have no thoughts about literally any component of this, cultural, legal, nothing. I'm not worried about any precedents whatsoever. I think it's perfectly fine, apparently, for them to worship this guy as some sort of living god. And on the right, they're putting his face on posters. They're imagining someday that they'll be able to vote for him to go to Congress.
Based on what? He's an 18-year-old kid. What the fuck are you talking about? I mean, within 10 years, by the time he's ready to go to Congress, people have forgotten about him, most likely. What are you talking about? This is stupid.
Yeah, I mean, we desperately...
Oh, this woman here is... What's her name? Morgan what? It's Morgan something. She's running for U.S. Senate out of Ohio. And she's in an former Obama administration, like a small-time official in the administration. And she and she's running for Senate now, so which is why she's on the Young Turks. She thinks tying herself to TYT is gonna help her. Didn't help Nina Turner that much, so we'll see. Maybe it's different for her.
We need leadership, right? And leadership isn't always being afraid of what might alienate certain people from voting for us. Leadership is sticking to what we believe. It is being true to our values. It is standing up for the people, most of the people in this country who are finding.
You sound like a politician. Leadership it's about holding our values. And we believe in good things or against bad things. That's what she sounds like.
All of this abhorrent and pushing that out there, that message, that's what leadership is. And that's what we are desperately in need of in the United States right now.
Yeah, of course.
So last thing on Morgan's point there, because look, we're not unaware of the political realities in this country.
Oh, this is where Jake Uger melts down. And I'm pretty sure this part, I guess I pre-watched this video, so this is where he melts down and goes way off the reservation.
So progressives are, generally speaking, far more sophisticated about politics than a normal corporate.
Get a load of how condescending that is. Oh, well, progressives are much more sophisticated on politics, than your average person is. Oh yeah, very, very condescending.
Corporate Democrats just listen to what the consultants say. We actually bother to read the polls. We can see what's popular or not popular, and we can still stick to our principles, okay? But so I'm not unaware that Barack Obama lost a huge approval ratings after he supported Henry Louis Gates, who was an African-American Harvard professor.
I completely forgot about this. This happened 10 years ago. But Cenk is obsessed with, race and everything like that. So of course he didn't forget about this. So
who the police accosted in his own porch and getting into his own house. Obama was 100% right to support him, but nonetheless, he lost popularity when he did, because a lot of white people in this country said, wait a minute, I mean, that's not, if a cop goes to assault a black professor in this country, he should get to do that. Whether it's fair or not fair, it doesn't matter. And I can't believe Obama would be fair to a black professor at Harvard.
That was the only reason why Obama's poll numbers went down. What are you talking about? That may have been a tiny factor, but there was a bunch of other factors. What, ACA, the Affordable Care Act, that was unpopular around that time. So that's probably most of the reason why his poll numbers went down. So that makes no sense.
That's outrageous. And they were really mad at Obama for that. So it's in the polling, there's no question about it. So will a lot of racist white people get super mad at Biden and Kamala Harris if they say, hey, I get why he was acquitted, but he should not have gone in there with a weapon and he was morally culpable? Yes.
Who cares about morally culpable? What does that even mean? He's found not guilty. It was self-defense, they found. So morally, he's fine. So according to the jury, what they found was he killed 3 people defending himself. So there's no moral culpability whatsoever. So what are you talking about?
Yes, a giant percentage of this country will catch feelings because they're generally racist right-wingers who don't like to talk about race unless it's killing people.
You care to prove that? You can't just say that. I don't know how Cenk Uygur hasn't been sued yet, because he says stuff like this all the time, and he's gotten away with it all these years. So I wonder if he ever cares to prove that. I guess he won't. He just keeps saying it.
Right, and applauding killing people. But that's where Morgan's point comes into effect, which is you gotta have courage to lead. You cannot change that dynamic in this country until you show leadership. And you tell people why it's wrong. Hey, would you want to speak their language? You have to speak to them in like
more condescension coming from Cenk. Watch it.
in colors and stuff. Like, now I know you're okay if he went to go shoot black people, but what if it was a black guy who came to a right-wing rally?
What are you talking about? Nobody's okay with shooting random black people. I mean,
with a weapon, and a Trump fan threw a plastic bag at him. Do you think it would be okay for the black guy or the Muslim guy or an Antifa guy to kill people at a Trump rally? Well, maybe that gets them to go, oh, well, I don't want a black guy doing that. A Muslim, no, I don't want a Muslim going to any rally with a weapon, let alone my rally. Oh, there's a rally of people who are mad about a board of education. Hey, don't worry about it. A couple of Antifa guys are going to show up.
What does this have to do with Rittenhouse? Now he's bringing up the board of education, and I guess the CRT controversy. This has nothing to do with this, but first he's going to go off the reservation and talk about that.
There with an AR-15. Are you guys cool with it? You're cool with it, right? Some right-wingers will pretend, oh yeah, I'm cool with it. Oh, it doesn't matter, I'm coming with a tag. That's because you want the violence. Yeah. And we have no leadership here. So at a critical moment, social moment in American history, honestly.
What? People are going to forget about this case in 5 years. This is not an important moment in American history. What are you talking about? It's ridiculous.
We had 2 leaders, Biden and Harris, who sat it out. And of course, the right.
No, they didn't. They gave a statement, a little sentence or two, and everyone moved on. We're going to move on from this. It's not a big deal.
Right wing were monsters. Those 3 guys, they're like, oh, I want to hire the killer. If you killed left wingers at one of their protests, that is the qualification.
No, it's not. No, it's, oh my God. I don't know how much more I can take of this. Cenk Uygur drives me crazy. He gives me a headache. I need more beer.
Rittenhouse was 17. He doesn't know anything. He's never had any meaningful political experience at all. His only experience is killing people he thought were left-wingers. And
No, he didn't kill people because he thought they were left wingers. He killed them in self-defense. That's what the jury found. You need to get off this. He killed them because he thought they were left wingers. You can't prove that, by the way. Do you have like tweets, or do you have a journal? Do you have anything? You don't have dick. That's the problem.
For 3 U.S. congressmen, they say, murder, that's what I want. Or in this case now, technically, he just killed him. He just killed him, okay? So, but the qualification is the death, is the fact that he shot and killed them. They're disgusting human beings. And if Biden and Harris and other Democrats can't bring themselves to say the bare minimum, well, the jury's in on that as well. No leadership, none, zero. This is the problem with the Democratic Party. Complete, utter weakness.
Then why did you demand us to vote for them? Why did you demand your audience to vote for them? You knew this. You know this for 20 years you've been on the air. Why the fuck did you demand that your audience to vote for them? You knew this was going to happen. Such a hypocrite.
I want to come back to one thing you were saying before, Cenk. The vacuum. As long as there's a vacuum and we allow them to dominate with this nonsense and appointing these heroes that are rooted in violence, we will continue to lose. And I'm not just talking about losing elections here. We are losing our entire country and way of being. So the stakes couldn't be higher.
What are you talking about? I mean, we're not losing our country. This is ridiculous. This is just over-the-top commentary. She should be good as a YouTube political talking head. That's what she's good at. She'll probably lose her Senate seat because she's running next year, and Republicans are up by 10 points. You're a generic Republican against a generic Democrat. She'll probably get crushed next year. That's my suspicion. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she'll be in the Senate. God forbid.
And again, just the need for better leadership is a big time emergency.
Thanks for watching.
Emergency? Enough of that. What the hell are you talking about? Emergency? You act like the country is about to die tomorrow over this. This is ridiculous. This is over the top nonsense. Well, yeah, that's the end of this video. You know, I can't do any more with the Young Turks. Well, I mean, I hope you enjoyed this content, my commentary and my takedown of TYT. If you like, please give me a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon.